And here we go. Hey, PD, KB, welcome. Your buddies are in here.
What's up, fellas?
Hey,
Did I pull you away from Dieter Melhorn? What's up, cats and kittens?
I like that one.
Yeah, that's from that documentary I was telling you about on Netflix.
Yeah, I looked it up and I couldn't find it.
Good morning, cats and kittens. It's on Netflix.
Yeah. I tried to Google it and it wouldn't come up.
So is that Norm? Is Norm Catfish Headhunters?
Yeah, Norman.
We got Joe from PD, and we got Kevin from KB Anglers, Mike Sampson.
Oh, yeah.
And then who was that? Was the first one in here? Pond Predator Nation.
Yeah. We got a lot of good ones in here.
Yeah, I am pretty. Are you telling me I'm pretty or is Avid pretty? I think Avid's pretty.
I'm far from pretty.
I think he got that.
To admit it.
He's got that Captain John Sparrow beard.
No, this is just a pure mountain man beard.
Maurice.
Hey, Maurice.
Man, Maurice is another one of them guys that is always in.
Oh, yeah.
Always supporting people.
One of these days, I'm going to have him on here.
Yeah, man. So what are we talking about?
Let's start with your cams. Your GoPros.
All right. So I brought along my cameras that I use to film. I have two GoPros. One is a 7 black, and then one is a 6. And they're both in these movable clamp things that I put on the boat. And so one of them I use, so if you've seen my videos, one of them is just turned on when we catch a fish, when we're hooked up. So, right. We'll get one on, and then whoever's not fighting the fish will grab the camera and they'll tap the button, it'll turn on, and then that becomes the main camera at that time. And sometimes I'll switch back. And then the other one that I just showed you, the 7, I got the door open on it, which renders it not waterproof anymore.
Uh-oh.
But it allows me to keep it charged and keep it running. So I have a battery bank solar charger. This is a tough tested.
Right.
It's waterproof. You can throw it across the room. It'll still work. And so that's my bite cam, my takedown cam. And so that's usually on the front of the boat or somewhere that, because it's a wide lens, I can catch all of the rods at once. And so if you ever watch my videos, that's how I get the takedowns. This one's
right.
Always running. And so we were just talking before we came on live about, the memory cards, and that's why I'm able to leave this on, is because I bought the biggest memory card I can find, and that was a 256 gig.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's not the best quality one, but it's not the worst either.
No, I was ask you about that, how you got that wide angle lens on your rod.
All GoPros are wide angle. You can set it to where they're not, but they're standard wide angle. And so that card in there will let me record for about 11 minutes. It separates it into 11-minute sections. So when I go back to edit my footage, then I'm looking at 11-minute video clips, basically. They're about 4 gigs a piece. So I can scan through real quick. If I don't see me fighting a fish on there, I delete it. Okay. And it's a little more. It's a little more work, but what attracted me to catfishing and what really made my decision on, to start a channel at the end of the day was the takedowns. And Steve Douglas always got the takedown. I guess because his wife was always holding the camera.
Yeah.
So, whenever they got a bite, she would turn on the camera, and then you saw the takedown. And then, another person that's really good about that is Justin Johnston on Kayak Catfish. He gets those big takedowns, and it's just exciting. And so I like to get those takedowns too.
I think one of these times I'm going to have to invest in one of those because right now my phone's on one of these stands here.
Yeah.
And it's hard to reach for the play button or the pause button so you can turn it on when you get a takedown.
Yeah.
Or you just get I just forget about it when I see that rod bend.
Yeah. So I just downloaded an app, and this might help you out too. I don't know if you can see, but it's a dual cam, and pardon my light, but that way you can see, like if you're vlogging, you can see where you're walking, like the camera's pointed at where you're walking, and then it's also pointed at you for when you're talking. So I just saw that on somebody else's YouTube channel the other day. It's called Mixcam, and I know it works with iPhones. Hey Jays, hey Kentucky, hey Ozark, hey
it's off Google Play, right?
Marie. Well, I have an iPhone, and I saw Michael in here too. Okay, doing good, Jays. It's called Mixcam. Hey Christy, what is Black Money 26?
Hi Christy. Hi Paris.
So I haven't actually used that yet. I'm going to use that. I'm going fishing tomorrow. The governor closed down all of our public boat ramps, but my dad and I searched today and found a private one. It's a little sketchy to get to, but so the Canal Lakes Fish Camp, Black's Fish Camp, and Hills Landing, they're all open. But on a Saturday morning when every other boat ramp is closed, imagine how many people are going to be there tomorrow.
Oh yeah, it's going.
The whole state of South Carolina is going to be there. So we're not going to the lake. I had a video come out today, and I got a video coming out next Friday morning. My wife and I went out on Sunday last week, and we went in the river in a channel, and she caught about a 24-pound catfish, and we caught a few more and some other things. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but there's also a close encounter with another boat.
Oh really?
Dun dun dun.
Did he try to sink you?
He did. Yep. There's probably beer involved, and it was one of those mud motors.
Yeah.
We had a good time.
Those mud motors aren't good for some boats.
Well, and the thing is that, typically, and I don't have any problem with the motor itself, or it's just some of the people down here that drive them, they take them through all the rice fields and they cut up all the beds, and
right. That's what they're designed for.
And they jump through like this guy just came through a little cut and almost ran us over because he couldn't see us on the other side of it. And what I looked at my wife, and if I wasn't filming, I would have probably slipped out a cuss word or two, but I was. And I said, just because you can, don't mean you should. Follow the channel, follow all that. And anyway, I don't want to. That's a sore subject. I don't get as upset about it as like Catfish Dave. Catfish Dave, he's got a boat now, and he's out there, and every time a boat comes by, he gets upset. But he's in the middle of the river, and
he's middle of the river anchored instead of drifting.
Yeah, I mean you can't really.
I watched his latest video today. Show me the fish.
Yeah, I saw it today too. No aliens, Michael. I just went over my camera gear for a minute. So this thing here, man, this is probably the best thing I ever bought. It's a tough tested battery,
Yeah.
solar battery charger. And it's got a light on it. I don't ever use a light. But then it's got two USB ports. I think the orange one is quick charging. And then the one on the side,
One's a quick charger, the other one's a regular charger.
I think so. And then on the side, this is what I love most about it. You can charge it with a USB, mini USB or a USB-C.
Right.
So you can charge it with two different cables. So that's pretty cool.
I have both of them.
And then it's solar, so it'll charge back up. But I'll put a camera running on this. So I got the lights on the back. I've never come off that first one.
That's
and you
good.
you can charge your phone like 20 times on it. It was $80 like 2 or 3 years ago. But man, it's been worth it. Every other charger we've bought like that has either died on us or just doesn't do a good job. So I spent the money on it and I'm glad I did. It was good. Hey, James.
You got that one on Amazon?
Oh, yeah. Everything I get's on Amazon. It's called Tough Tested. Tough Tested. Now, there's a lot that look the same. They have the orange on the corners.
Right.
But if it's not called Tough Tested, I wouldn't trust it.
I got
the T on the back.
Right.
That's nice.
I have two of them from Silent Angel.
Oh, okay. I never heard of it. I don't know if Harry's is open, Joe. I know that on the in the Canal Lakes Fish Camp is open. Where the one where Mac Daddy's is, Black's Fish Camp is open, and Hill's Landing is open. They're locking the doors, and you got to call to pay the boat ramp fee. But we're not going there tomorrow because, like I told you just a minute ago, half of South Carolina is going to be there fishing in the morning because they've closed all the public stuff down. We found a private one back in the woods that we're going to go to. So,
hey, Austin, welcome. Chunky Cats. He just came in. How you doing, James?
So Chunky Cats is I forgot. Huh?
Elston.
Elston, that's right.
What do you have planned for your YouTube channel this year?
I want to catch a big fish. I'm just, with my job, I hadn't been able to. I'm never able to get on the water. And one thing this COVID-19 has allowed, now that we found this landing, is the opportunity to get in the water a lot during spring. Usually springtime, I'm a high school assistant principal, so usually springtime is like testing and graduation and everything under the sun. So there's no time except on a Saturday. And then when you get out there on a Saturday, everybody's out there.
Right.
And so, it'll be nice to get out this week. Did Kevin's head spin?
Yeah, that's what Kevin asked. He was on the phone call and he came back and asked, "Did your head spin?"
Not yet. Not yet.
What's your best tackle bag?
Best? I only have one little tackle bag type thing. I actually have it. It's a striped bait. It's an off-brand. My wife got it for me for Christmas. And I like it. It's got a little carabiner on it. It's got a zipper in the back. And it's Velcro. And it's perfect for me because I can get like 6 or 7 rigs in here. I got to get used to going the opposite way with that camera. I got all my rigs in here.
Yeah, your Cooper rigs.
The Santee Cooper rig, yeah. And then it's got another zipper on the front. And then got some Sabiki rigs in there. But this is cool, man, because in the video I put out today, I was remaking a rig because my last Saturday I went out and I felt like I was going to die. The water was so choppy out there.
Oh, I bet.
It was really, really choppy. It was coming over the back of the boat, which is, is normal for Lake Moultrie, but usually people don't fished that choppy in a little aluminum bass boat. I'm a hardhead, so.
Oh, I'm
And
sure.
I know how to swim, and I had a life jacket, and my boat's not that nice, so if it sank you.
You go down quick. Hey, Catfish and Crappie, how you doing?
So I did make a change this week. I know last time we spoke, I was fishing braid.
Right.
But I don't know. I didn't have like an epiphany or anything like that, but braid, it's tough on your reels. I don't know if you know that, but braid, especially heavy braid, is really tough on your rod and reels.
Yeah,
And
like your 50, 60-pound braids.
well, I had 85 pound, because that's what I saw somebody fishing with, and I was like, hey, I need that. But I think you only need that heavy a braid. I think you only need braid period as if you're pulling something out of structure, like like flatheads or something.
Right.
But just for what I do, it was too much. It ruined one of my reels. So I took all of it off and I went on Amazon and I got me some Andy Monster line. I got 30-pound test, high vis yellow.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was like $56, but it's a 1 pound spool.
How
And
many yards is that?
huh?
How many yards is that?
1,600.
Damn.
Yeah, so I've already spooled 4 rod and reels with this, and I still got 75% of it left.
And that's
It's
what?
it's 30-pound. It's
30?
really strong. Mm-hmm. It's really strong mono, and I've only had it out on one trip, and I like it so far. I like it, and it's good stuff. Like I know Dieter uses it. I know River Certified. I think he might use it. There's a bunch of people that use it, but I would have rather had the blue, but Amazon didn't have the blue, so. And I would have I wanted to go up to 40, but they didn't have the 1 pound spool in the 40, and I wanted to go ahead and re-spool all my reels. So it's not expensive, Mike. If you really think about it, I mean, this is 1,600 yards for a little over $50. So you're getting a lot of line, and it's
That'll
not
last
that
you a couple
expensive.
of years.
Yeah, it'll last a long time. So I mean, yeah, it's expensive up front. It's still not as expensive as braid. That braid is ridiculous.
Yeah, braid's more expensive, but I use a 20-pound braid, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I like it so far. It's definitely easy to see. I think you got some trolls in here. The tot Camden.
Yeah.
I think that's a troll.
Take care of that, would you?
So then I brought some other stuff, and you can just stop me if you want to. But I thought, hey, what can we talk about? Yeah, the big game is good, Norm. It's, I think this is a little better quality, and it's not too bad. So these little bait, and I'm cheap. These bait knives right here are cool. I got that from Walmart. It's a Evolution. I don't know. They just have them in little buckets, and so I've had this bait knife. That's what I use to cut my bait up. Then I have these scissors. I bought these scissors, Rapala scissors, for my braid. I don't have braid anymore, but they cut mono pretty good too.
Thank you, Ozark.
That's what I used. And then catfish grippers.
Oh yeah. Saves your hands a lot that way.
Yeah, and you don't have to put the glove. Well, I still put a glove on, but last Sunday, my wife and I went out to catch shellcracker, and I brought some catfishing reels because why not?
Why not?
So
On the hook
Yeah, we hooked a couple decent fish in, and I realized I didn't have the net. So thankfully, I had these. Um, so these are Whisker Seeker fish grabbers. They're pretty cool because when the fish spins, this thing will spin, so it doesn't twist your arm up. And then when you load it,
I got a first question for
you
you.
load it, and then you press the button, and they close like that.
What's your first question?
Well, I ran out of them. I have one left, and it's the camo one that I wear. I don't make those hats. I get them from Branded Bills, and if I can get 12 people to order them, I'll get them again. But they're pretty expensive. For 12 of them, it cost me like $300. Which,
Well,
if you think about it, that's not. I mean, it's not too expensive per hat. But you know, I'll definitely put in an order if I can get 12 people. I gave them to a lot of my supporters here locally, and then Patriot James had me on the show, or not? Didn't have me on the show. He shouted me out on the show, and so I gave him a hat to give away, and then yeah, Maurice, I have your hat. You never sent me your address, I don't think, did you?
He's been going through a lot lately, so we gotta.
Yeah, no, I know. I want to send him a hat. I just need him to. So I make my own T-shirts. So I made this one.
I like those T-shirts. I was wearing yours last night.
Mm-hmm. So I make those. If you look behind me, I have a heat press behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. One other thing that I brought in, just it's kind of cute. You've probably seen these. It's like a light switch.
Yeah.
So if you do night fishing, but you can't really afford to do a big light setup and wire it up, or you're like me and you're lazy and you just don't feel like wiring it up. These are like $350 at Walmart, and they're really bright. So
Those are
just a
nice.
light switch. Yeah.
Well, those battery operated or solar?
Yeah, they're battery.
Okay.
So they're really bright. I'm sure everybody's seen them, but you can get them at Walmart.
I wasn't thinking about that for doing night fishing.
Mm-hmm.
What gave you the idea to try them?
I used them when we went camping. So we used to have a pop-up camper. It was a 1979 Starcraft, and we rebuilt the top on it and everything, but all the wiring was shot, and in order to rewire it, we would have had to take like the wall panels off, and I wasn't doing that. So I just bought a lot of little portable lights that were inexpensive, and just put them up there.
Those run off double A or triple A?
Oh, I don't know. Let me see. AAA.
Oh, they ain't bad.
Actually run off 4 AAA batteries, but that makes sense because there's two lights in here and they're really bright.
But see, even with those 4 AAA batteries, that's still going to run for a long time because those are not LEDs or something else.
Yep.
Those lights will last you almost 10,000 hours.
They'll last a while. Yeah, getting your logo and stuff isn't cheap, Norm. But I have a small business. We do drum wraps already, and so kind of one of the things that we did on the side was making T-shirts for marching bands. And so, when you already got the equipment, it's a little less expensive. The thing that people don't understand, though, is that when you don't have like a screen printing business and you're not making, tons of shirts, is that you got to you have to have a quota
right,
to make them. And so I I don't have to have a quarter for myself, but I made enough of these prints that I just have them. And so whenever I give away a shirt or, I need another one, I just have to get the shirt and throw it on there. So, usually we have to have a 35 shirt minimum. Because I've had some YouTubers contact me and want shirts, but they don't understand that it takes a lot. It's expensive.
Mike wants to know how much your hats are.
Well, like I said, if I get 12 people, for they're about $28 a piece, and that's me not making any money on it. That's just getting them made.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just $28 to have them made, but nothing in your pocket out of it.
Yeah, and I don't need to make any money on it. It's just I like how they look. I think if I ever order another set of them, I'll move the logo somewhere else, like on the side.
Catfish. Here's Catfish's statement.
Yes, I print these. I print these right there. See right behind me?
Uh-huh.
That's my heat press.
No, is that like an iron-on print or?
Well, it's what am I trying to say? It's shoot. I can't remember the word. Come back to me. It's screen printed.
Right.
But it's screen printed on paper, and then I use my heat press. My heat press gets up to like 400 degrees. So it'll heat press it in, 7 seconds.
You're what, Mike?
Yeah.
Michael's DTNG, whatever that is.
They're talking about something with football. If we assemble ourselves into a football team, what position would you play?
Or defensive tight end, and I forgot what NG is.
I'll be the coach.
If I was younger, I'd be the quarterback. Here comes your puppy again.
Yeah.
I see the white ball face.
It's not HTV. Well, it's heat transfer, but it's not vinyl. Now the shirt that Avid was wearing last week or yesterday, that was heat transfer vinyl. So I can make heat transfer vinyl. So the hat that Maurice liked was heat transfer vinyl, but they don't work very well. The hat machine I had didn't work very well. I gave it back to my business partner because I couldn't stand it. So yeah, I do heat transfer vinyl.
Okay, Michael, let's have your questions. Hey, Sean, how you doing?
Pelicans on Santee. I don't need to tell you about it. Just go watch the video. So
Pelicans like those warmer waters.
Yeah, so KB and his dad, Pop, and his son came down and stayed on Santee, and they took me out on a Wednesday afternoon, and the Pelicans thought we were bored, so they came down and we started throwing old bait to them, and we actually got to hand feed pelicans from the boat.
That's cool.
Which I've learned is not uncommon. It's not uncommon.
It's not uncommon, but it ain't quite safe either.
Yeah, they got a little sharp little thing on their nose.
Yeah, they got that little claw on the tip of their beak, and I tell you what, when they reach forward and you don't get your hand pulled back in time, you're getting cut.
Yeah, for sure.
They don't mind eating out of your hand, but they'll try to take some extra meat with it.
So excuse me. People might say I'm stupid for telling y'all this, but I want to help people out. So if you're looking for an easy way to sell merchandise, there's a site called teespring.com, Tee, and then spring.com. And as long as you have your image, like you have your image, you can set up a free account on there, and people can buy your merchandise. Yeah. and you don't have to do anything but collect money. So I have a Teespring account. It's actually pinned to the top of my Facebook page. And if you're a seller on there, then you can basically buy your shirts for like you can get samples for a discounted price, and you set the price that you sell your shirts for. I don't think they let you sell hats right away. Like you have to make a bunch of money for them before they'll extend that to you. But if y'all go look at my Facebook page, and then the first thing on there is my Teespring website, and check it out. Catfish and Carp uses the Teespring account. A bunch of other guys do, and you don't have to. Saltwater action gear, swag saltwater
action gear.
No action. It's been a long day.
Big keys, remember?
I've never heard of saltwater action gear.
It's like a 18-foot heavy action surf rod.
Oh no, he says it's for his merch.
Oh, okay. I've never heard that one.
Mm-hmm. But that's cool though. I'll check it out. Because Teespring is just like t-shirts and hoodies and tank tops and stickers and things like that. But if you're not wanting to, like if you want a shirt for yourself, just to get your channel started or just to have something that says has your logo on it, then you can you can get a sample, and it's not as expensive as buying in bulk at first, because what you're going to have to do, even with my business, is you have to buy a quota, and then you have to buy a certain amount at one time, and that's expensive.
Yeah. How much Pond Parrot of the Nation says hats and shirts.
Yeah, he's talking about that saltwater. He's talking about that saltwater action gear. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. It sounds cool.
So, what other little trinkets, goodies you bring?
I think that was about it. To be honest with you, I went through them a lot faster than I thought I would.
That's all right.
But anybody who didn't see, I was showing my GoPro.
You can do it again if you want.
Yeah, let me get something real quick.
Yeah, teespring.com, Ozark.
Yep. I think the cable I'm looking for
MPD
is up under here. There it is. All right. So this is and KB saw me using this on his boat. So if you're wondering how to get takedowns and not missing them, you get you one of these battery banks. It doesn't have to be this one. I mean, I just really like this one. But you get this battery bank, you hook your USB-C cable in there, and you take your GoPro and you just hook it up, right? And as long as you have a big SD card in there, when you turn it on, it'll start recording, and it'll just keep recording for you.
Okay.
The only thing is that, especially if you have a newer model GoPro, once you take that side door off, guess what?
No longer waterproof.
It's not waterproof anymore. So you really got to make sure that you're being careful with that. But anyway, that's what I use, and that's how I get. I don't know if any of you watch my videos, but that's how I get all the takedowns on film.
Does that have a removable chargeable battery or what?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, this is the black. So the black series has the battery you can take out.
And does that come with an extra charger, a wall charger or something?
Well, it'll come with the battery, and then you can charge it through the side port,
right,
in the camera. But I bought I bought one of these. You can
Right.
charge three batteries at one time. But really, I only need to operate, to film fishing. I only need 2 batteries. I need one to put in the takedown camera, and then I
Yeah.
only need one more for the action, or the one that
Right. But
films the rest of it, because I only turn that one on for however long you fight the fish. So I
right.
only use 2 batteries. Sometimes I'll just use the takedown camera and just I've done that in a few videos. I've just used that.
Okay. That's cool.
Hmm. I'm
So
curious to know if any of you watch my videos, what's something that I can improve, because I'm not getting the views that I want to get. And I put a lot of effort into editing them, and like right now I'm only getting like, I don't know, I only got like 75 views in a week. So
that's my
I'm just
problem.
wondering.
I'm trying to figure out that same question.
Hmm.
That's what I'm trying to do. Is
KB, the charger just came on Amazon. Anything you need, go to Amazon.com. Hey, I got a subscriber, Pond Predator. Thank you, buddy. I
thanks,
appreciate that.
guys. Go and share each other some love.
Yeah, man. Catch bigger fish. You catch bigger fish. I seem to remember your son caught the largest fish he's ever caught with me. I'm just picking. Now,
I
yeah.
like to. I
Kyle
like to.
caught Kyle caught his PB the other day, about 2 weeks ago, with his dad and his grandpa there. It was a family event. It's pretty cool, and they were able to catch it. We were able to catch it on camera, which is
That's
pretty
all.
cool. Hmm. He was funny, man. Kyle's a good little kid, a good little dude. Well, he's not little. He's a junior in high school.
Or you
So
can start twerking like pops.
yeah,
Okay.
he might. Big thing I've found is tags, and more tags. Okay. So what do you mean by that? What's your name, Pond Predator?
If you guys have questions, feel free to ask. Hi, Sonny. Welcome. He did, and he's still smiling.
Yeah, man.
I like watching your videos.
I appreciate it. I like watching them too.
The only thing I would suggest is getting a little bit bigger boat.
Oh, trust me, it's coming. Yeah, you're right, James. And the problem is that I don't fish in the wintertime. I tried it, and maybe when I get that bigger boat, maybe when I'm able to, I'll get me an enclosure where I can have a heater in there, because man, I'm just ugh, I can't stand the cold. I'm not like you northern boys.
I'm originally from Montana. And
Yeah, still cold.
yeah, but up there when it snows, you get snowed in. You have to go up to your second or third floor door to get out to go to the shop to dig out of your house.
Yeah.
And half the time you have to dig out your driveway that's buried 10 feet under.
Ugh.
And that takes an inloader to do that. So if you don't have an inloader, you're screwed.
Yeah. Yeah, Pond Predator. I use the keywords too. Um, I guess I'm just looking for that. I guess it would help. All I need is really one gigantic fish, and then I can tag the right things, and I can share it in the right way that'll get. I just don't like using clickbait. Like some of the YouTubers I see, especially the younger guys. Hey, Chad, they'll you know they'll use something like "she called the cops," in the
Right.
title, and then you're like, huh, fishing, somebody called the cops on, and it ends up being like a 10-second clip in the video. So, I don't believe in that,
I don't
and
believe it.
I'm,
No. That's just a hype.
hey, Lyle, Michael, what's my ideal fishing temperature? Anything above 70 degrees. Yeah, Michael, or who said that?
Where's love?
Sunfish.
Oh, hi,
Yeah,
Catfish.
the winter's a good time for catfish down here too in South Carolina on Santee, but I just I don't know. I gotta get my chin above the thing. I don't like cold. I don't like fishing in the cold. I don't like it. I was about to spend a bunch of money, or not a bunch of money, but some money on uh on cold weather gear just so I can go fishing in the winter. And thankfully, my boat broke down because when I went out with somebody else, I was miserable. I was miserable.
I like
So
what B said. 98.7, Michael, but he likes to be normal. He been funny.
KB should have his own stand up comedy show, man.
He should.
Not.
It'd be dry humor.
Yeah. So yeah, I was able to. So the video I came out today, I ended up going and catching bait, trying to catch bait at the end of it because bait has gotten so expensive down here. I went to a local fish camp. I'll just say that, and they are selling live river herring. I mean, big ones I can't show it on here. Big ones. And that's the best bait to use, and you can't catch bait down here like in other places, parts of the country. Like you just can't.
Catching crappie for bait?
Well, you can't use crappie for bait down here. You can't use bass or anything like that. You can use bluegill. That's it. But you can't just find. We don't. I don't think we have gizzard shad. I don't think we have that, or skipjack. We have river herring though.
River herring's the same thing as skipjack.
Yeah, it looks a little different. But anyway, it's just expensive. So I went to the thing to get the bait, and KB was with me, and it was $24 for a dozen. $24 for bait fish, and
that's crazy.
I don't know, man. It's just thankfully KB and his dad there, we split the cost for it. It's great bait. I mean, it's nice and bloody and oily, and it's great stuff. But man, last weekend my wife went out and I paid like $3.50 for a box of worms, and we caught some bluegill, and I caught more fish on that than I caught on the $24 bait. So
every time I go to bluegills, I go to a bait shop and get about two big blue containers of wax worms, with about 250 of them in each.
Mm-hmm.
And I can make that last a week or two.
Yeah, I don't really use wax worms too much, but we have the red worms. Mm-hmm.
Wax worms are great for bluegills and crappie. Some reason I found they'll hit them quicker than they will red wiggler.
Not down here. Red worms is it, man. Red worms. Here's a question. So, and this is a question for everybody. So, our bluegill, our panfish, any kind of sunfish we have down here, they will not bite an exposed hook. Not like a catfish. So, where I've grown up, my dad always said you got to hide the tip of the hook. You got to make sure it's hidden. You got to make sure it's hidden. Is that the same everywhere?
No, not here. Because I barely exposed the tip of the hook.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see it, but you can see it. But with the tail of the wax worm, it's almost has it covered, but the tip is still bare.
I don't know. What about everybody in chat? I've never caught a bluegill on an exposed hook. I've not been able to, ever. And somebody I was talking to the other day, they weren't catching anything, and so I said, well, you got the hook exposed, so then they covered up the hook and they thought I was ridiculous. Like, you can catch bluegill with an exposed hook. I said, well, I haven't ever caught them with worms. Now, spinnerbait or something like that, or a gulp minnow, yeah, I've caught one on that doing that. But that bait's moving and it's not just sitting there.
Right.
You know?
Catfish and crappie uses a 1-inch gulp minnow for all his baits except for bullheads.
Mm-hmm. I'm talking about bluegill, catfish and crappie. I've never caught a bluegill down here on an exposed hook. Flint Hill, how you doing?
Hey, Flint. Hey, Chad. Welcome.
How many people you got? Looks like you got a good crowd tonight.
Got 18 so far.
Hey, man, that's good.
It's growing.
We pulled some people away from Dieter Melhorn, I think.
I don't think Dieter would hurt. It's hurting too much.
Dieter don't notice.
No.
Is he still live?
Last time I looked, he was, I think.
Let's see. Avid's still alive. That's the only one I care about right now.
So, what?
Oh, no, he's not live anymore.
Okay. What's your best rod and reel setup?
I use spinning reels. And the spinning reels I use are Penn spinning reels. I have Penn Pursuit 3s. I have 2 of those. And then I have 2 Penn Battle 2s, which is the saltwater one. It's gold. Right. I got those on sale on an Amazon sale during Amazon Prime Day last year. And then I have some Shakespeare reels, but all my rods are ugly stick rods.
Oh, really?
Looks like you got a Russian hacker in here. Dirty Soldier 59, whatever that means.
Someone take care of him, would you? One of the Ozark got him. I got some good mods in here.
That's cool that you're getting trolls, though.
Yeah, this is a second night I had trolls.
That's good, man.
But I got some good mods in here that's really quick on about taking care of that problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have to worry about it.
So I just want to tell everybody in here that I'm going to go live Sunday night. I don't know what I'm going to talk about yet, but I'm going to go live Sunday night because that's the only night that well, let me not say that because then somebody's going to say, no, such and such goes live on Sunday night. But, I'm going to try to go live Sunday night. And I don't even know what we're going to talk about. What should we talk about, Avid?
What?
Did you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you. I'm just trying to think of something.
I don't want to talk about coronavirus.
No. Line knots. Fishing line knots. Line-to-line knots, your knots that you tie to the swivels.
Yeah, I can show you. Let's see. So I'll show you the rig that I tied on the boat that I was tying in my video that went out today. Let's talk about man stuff. I don't know what's up with my eyes, Jaw Jerker. I'm sorry.
What's he?
Oh, I thought he said King of Blink. Yeah, I was blinking a lot. I thought he was talking about that.
No, he's talking about Al Stan's rods as the king of bling.
Oh, really? So let's see.
Like the book of Psalms, Michael Riolo says, and Pond Predator says bait rigs.
So these are the hooks I won on Catfish Weekly. If Lyle's still in here, Lyle sent me these.
Those are good hooks.
Yeah, I don't even know what they are.
Those look like 9 or 10 ounce.
Yeah, they're 10. I know that.
They're
if Lyle's in here, maybe he can tell me where they came from. I don't know if he's still in, but they're offset, as you can see. But they have this little black sheath right there.
That's
I'm
cool.
not really sure what that's for. But it's a pretty big hook. But then, so I snell that on there. So I can
Here's
see
something
that.
to show you that Flint says.
Talk about something because there ain't nothing to watch. Yeah, sure.
That's a good snell knot.
Thank you.
That's
Nocturnal Nation.
Nocturnal Nation hook. That's what that is.
Okay. I don't know. I want them. I don't use fancy hooks too much. And then I got that running to it. So I got some little beads on here.
Yeah, okay.
Well, can I tell you something? Everything on this rig that I'm about to show you, I won on Catfish Weekly. I just realized that, except for the barrel swivel and the line. Isn't that crazy? Watch live feeds, people. You'll win stuff.
Last time
So,
Turkey was on here, he did 2 giveaways, which
okay.
blew my mind. Well, I wasn't expecting.
And I got some beads. I don't know why I put 2 on there. I just felt like putting 2.
Yeah, that's shrink wrap on there, Michael.
And then I got a rattle.
Shrink wrap does help. It helps the line grip onto the hook better.
And I just got a fisherman's knot tied on these. Now I try to use what's that? So that's a chubby knocker. I won that too.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a demon dragon. Every company's got their own version.
Right. That's just a different version of a demon dragon.
That's right. Or a rattling float.
Is that one more of a heavy plastic or a polymer base?
I don't know, buddy. Is it polymer plastic?
No. Polymer's more of a reinforced, like a fiberglass reinforced plastic.
Did you just say that's the worst snell knot you ever saw? Maurice said that. What's wrong with that? That's a beautiful one.
He's probably talking about that little lip right there at the base of the eyelet where it goes back through the eyelet.
Yeah, but I got that thing. I mean, that's zoomed in.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, Maurice. I'll try to do better. And then that's 50-pound, just, strand. Not strand. What's the cheap Walmart line?
Oh,
I can't even remember.
I know it. I just can't think of it myself.
And barrel silvers. My wife got me a pack of these. They look pretty cool.
Yup. Catfish and crappie, you will. Don't worry.
And then Maurice is laughing at me now.
Yeah,
Maurice, all I do is talk good about you, and then you come on here and pick on me. That's all right. I'm a big boy. I can take it.
Where's Headhunter at?
Mm-hmm.
Maurice, Michael's telling Maurice not to pull no punches.
That's what it is, Chad. It's Eagle Claw. That line is Eagle Claw line. I think it was $3 for like a 300-yard spool, a 50-pound test. And then if I'm not using a chubby knocker, which I don't buy those demon dragons. I've never bought one. I think they're cool looking, but they're just too expensive, and I don't think you need them. I know you don't need them to catch catfish. No. But here's my regular setup. So I think that's an 8/0. I'm not sure what kind of hook that is either. That might be a team catfish. It's not offset though.
Okay. Sorry to distract you for a minute. Would you guys like to see a feeding frenzy behind me? It's funny. No matter how many times I feed them, they'll still eat.
Yep.
Right?
Hopefully the catfish will be doing that tomorrow. So I just use a peg float if I don't have a knocker. And then there's a different swivel. So guys, I use whatever's available. I think it would be nice one day if I can. I saw that. I'll get to it. I think it'd be nice one day, that money's not a problem. That I can. Well, money's not a problem, but it's not like I don't have millions of dollars to spend on all this stuff. So I just like to, honestly, I like to try a bunch of stuff out. Like a lot of guys say, I only use this kind of hook, or I only use this kind of this or that. Man, if I win free hooks, I'm gonna use them.
I've found these Team Catfish circle hooks, and I've been with them since I found them, and I haven't tried anything else since then.
Yeah, I mean, if you find something you like, sure, but I mean, maybe it's because I don't fish as much as some of these guys.
Oh, I fish a lot. They're also they're durable and they're inexpensive. It's the reason why I like them.
Fair enough. Somebody was talking about, I think it was in Catfish Weekly, whoever he had on last week, whoever Lyle had on last Monday. They were talking about they broke off a hook. They broke off hooks. And I've never broken a circle hook. But then again, I've only been fishing for catfish for 2 years, like targeting catfish. I'll tell you what, I grew up catching shellcracker and what y'all call bluegill. We just called everything a brim. But that's what I used to fish for all the time. And if I caught a catfish, it was usually on a red worm, and I was catching on a brim buster. So
that's cool.
But I think I've decided on my line. I got the Andy Monster line, like I told you earlier.
Right.
So they had this 1 pound spool on Amazon for like $50, and I mean that's a lot. I've never ever bought a spool like this. I've always bought like enough for 1 or 2 rod and reels, and that's it. So
that's the kind of spool I'm looking for. That's full of 20-pound braid, to where I can buy it and have it for a couple of years. Because my pins, they take a lot of braid.
Yeah.
If I go to Walmart and buy a braid, 300 yards,
that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it takes a lot of money to fill up those 8,000 and 6,000 pins. Because those things at 20-pound test, that's almost like 8-pound test diameter, and that swallows that 300 yards in no time.
Mm-hmm.
With that small diameter, it swallows more line.
Yeah. So I have targeted flatheads one time, and it was right when my boat broke in October. And so I was just using a trolling motor right there in a diversion canal under the bridge. And I had seen somebody catch a flathead there before. So I caught some little bluegill, and I was just operating off a trolling motor, so I didn't want to go far. And I just sat there. I actually went live. And Maurice, I believe you were in there. And I went live and didn't catch anything. And it started getting cold. It was about 10 o'clock. And I turned off the live feed. And I remember hitting the clicker on the GoPro, and it went, on my phone, and it clicked off, and then my rod went down. And I'm sitting there like, are you freaking kidding me right now? And so I'm holding the fish, and I'm trying to get my phone back on and trying to go live again. And so I didn't get live while I had the fish on, but I caught probably about a 3-pound flathead, and it was the first and only flathead I've ever caught. Now, in the future, I do want to target flatheads more, but I'm kind of in a holding pattern with my boat. My boat doesn't allow me to do, because I'm a big boy. I'm 300 pounds and almost 6 foot tall, and although it's not that tall, it's tall for a heavy guy. And so with my boat, It's not comfortable to be out on for a long time. If you watched the video from the day, the waves were coming up over the back of it. So I do have plans to get another boat. There's some things in my life that have to work out that I have to prioritize first before a boat. But it's going to happen. And when it happens, man, it's going to be awesome. I'm going to get me a pontoon boat. And,
Right.
We're going to be catching flatheads and staying out overnighters and all kinds of stuff. I really want to start like a fishing ministry for the guys in my church, just to get them out there. Not only the guys that, are Christians in my church, but to kind of reach out to those guys who, there's a lot of people who think, Christians are perfect or they act perfect or whatever, but that's far from the truth. And just want to get them out there to show them, hey, you can be a Christian and not be perfect. That is the definition of being a Christian anyway.
I'm a Christian. I know I'm not perfect.
Listen, if you're a Christian and you're perfect, then you're not a Christian. How about that?
No.
Because you only think you're perfect. There's only one perfect person, and that's Jesus. But
right, I agree with you on that one. I'm by no I mess up every day.
Mm-hmm. Maurice, I saw your. You asked me what a brim buster is, and that's kind of like a Lakin term. That's like. My dad called it a brim buster. His dad called it a brim buster. It is basically a cane pole, but it is actually a brand. Back in the day, it was called a brim buster, BREAM buster. That's kind of like I think there's a crappy buster right now that B&M makes.
Right.
But it's basically, they used to make them out of fiberglass. And thankfully, they don't make them out of fiberglass anymore, because you'd fish all day, and then right here on the bottom of your arm, you would have fiberglass shards in your arm from using them. But they're basically molded, and they're retractable cane poles. Yeah. So we call those a brim buster.
A friend at work gave me the other day a 12-foot long telescopic bluegill pole.
Yeah, 12 foot's pretty good. 10 is too small. 12's okay. I have 13s, and I cannot find 13s anymore. 14 is too long. And I have a 16 that'll break your arm sitting there trying to hold it up.
I know.
You're sitting there holding it up, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't catch fish. I'm too tired from catching fish.
I know. 3 days later, he comes up with an 18-foot telescopic.
Yep.
I'm asking him where he's getting it from.
You said 18 foot? No way.
That thing is long.
No doubt. Shoot, a 16 is long. My boat is 17 foot long, and then you had an 18. So you're telling me you got a brim buster that's longer than my boat? Not interested.
Trust me, I tried it one day and I got tired, so I put in a spring-loaded rod holder, angled it down with it, and slid it in there and left it there until I got it.
See, if you ever come down in the spring about April, May. I'll put you on a shell cracker bed. You won't have time to put that pole down, and you're not going to be able to keep up with the 18-foot pole. I'll tell you.
No, I'll bring the 13 or 12.
There you go.
That 12.
13 is perfect. 10 is too short. 10 is just too short. You end up having to put. So when you rig a brim buster, or a cane pole, Maurice, like if this is your cane pole right here, you want the line to extend down about a foot or two below it.
Right.
So you can flip it in. And they're really accurate, which is why we like to use them. Rod and reel is more fun to fight a big bluegill on, but brim buster is way more accurate. And if you're getting on those beds, you got to drop that worm right down in between that grass, So
where did you get that again?
Say it again.
Where did you get your knife?
Walmart. They got them in a little bucket. They have white handles on them.
Okay.
Those knives are like $2 a piece, if that.
I like that.
I think they even have the floating ones now. Like if you drop them in the water, they'll float. This one does not float. I've already lost one. I think I had a blue one and it fell in the water.
I have knives like that. I keep putting a lanyard to it.
Oh yeah, that would be
Where it
smart.
goes around your wrist. So
Yeah,
if you let go of it, it ain't gonna fall off somewhere. It's just gonna dangle.
right. Oh, we missed Catfish and Crappie. He had to run out.
Uh,
Later, dude.
hey, Michael, you have any more questions for Palmetto?
How many people you got in here now?
16.
That's good, man. Everybody's being really cool. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's what I like. I got good mods. I got good people in here.
Yeah, man. You're almost at 300 subscribers.
I think 6 away,
Yeah, dude. That's awesome.
5 or 6 away.
Apparently, I got 2 tonight. That's awesome.
That's cool. I'm glad.
Yeah, when you stop making videos, you stop getting subscribers.
Right. B&M has a Black Widow that
Black Widow's a big one. Yeah.
wow.
The one I have is a big one.
My
KD, you got your coil packs? That's cool, man. I'm sorry, Avid. Go ahead.
the 13 foot I have,
Yeah.
when you have it fully extended, it looks longer than a 13 foot.
Really?
I mean, I put it up against my 18-foot catfish rod,
Mhm.
and it's maybe 4.5 feet shorter than the 18.
Hmm.
But on the rod, it says it's 18 foot, 13 foot.
I'm in South Carolina. So on the video that's coming out on Friday, I am actually using a brim buster in that. So my wife likes to catch. She likes to bobber fish, and she likes using brim buster. So we went around most of the morning looking for shellcracker beds or just popping brim here and there, and we found a spot with some that I wanted to catfish, and I threw the anchor out, and so she was able to catch bluegill on one side of the boat, and I threw catfish rods out the other side. So I'm using a brim buster in that video too.
That's a good question, Michael.
Prideful? That makes it sound like a sin. I guess where I was most proud, I was pretty proud when I caught that flathead because I had targeted flathead specifically, and so I was able to catch one even though it took forever. But I think we didn't drag down here. My dad and I always used to fish for catfish in the river. So our river is like full of debris on the bottom. So, you'd be dragging, you would only be able to drag 5 feet before you get a snag, and you either pull up the tree or lose everything. So we always just used the Carolina rig and anchored. So whenever I saw people on YouTube dragging with the Santee rig, even though I'm from here, I had never heard of it. My dad, of course, when I told him about Santee rig, he goes, "Oh yeah, we used to use that all the time, blah blah blah." But he never used it with me, so I never knew about it. So then, so I guess when I went up on the lake and I used it, and I caught probably a 40-pound blue cat. One of the first times I went out and used it, and that was pretty cool because I felt justified. Like you never know if you're making the right decision when you change a rig or when you find a spot. Because I don't have a nice depth finder. I have I almost brought it in here. It's a little $99 depth finder, little Garmin, and basically I can just see the contour of the bottom and maybe a fish or two on it. I don't have side imaging and stuff. I'm gonna get one like KB has. He got on the Helix 7s. Those are pretty cool. But I guess that I was pretty proud of that. That I was able to drag for my first time, and it felt like that's when it really hooked me. It worked, and then to be honest with you, Michael, when I fixed my boat, my coil, not my, what do you call it? My stator went bad. and I've never worked on an outboard engine before. And so between YouTube and looking stuff up, I was able to fix it myself, fix that part of it myself. So that was pretty cool. You do have a nice fish finder, KB. You got side imaging and down imaging and up imaging and left imaging and future imaging. You got all kinds of crazy stuff. You got a nice trolling motor too. So KB Anglers does not have an excuse once he gets those cool packs. He should be pulling in monsters.
That's the time you go with him and beat.
I just called him out. You got everything you need, buddy. You better be catching monsters. You hear me?
That's when you go with him again, right? Palmetto.
That's right. Did you almost say Palomino?
Mike Sampson's got me stuck on Palomino.
I quit. No, just kidding.
Mike Sampson just has that was stuck in my head from earlier.
What do you say we do a giveaway? You have something you can like roll the dice on or something? Like with people in chat?
I don't have anything to roll a dice on.
In order to make it fair.
I know I was going to do a question, but we have to think of a good question. You ask a question that you know the answer to that they've seen on one of your videos.
Okay. On the video that came out today, how many catfish did I catch? First one that answers it correctly gets a Palmetto Cats t-shirt.
Now everybody's going over to your channel to look.
They're going to have to watch the whole thing. That's my dog going crazy.
That's right.
Yeah, my extreme close-up so you can see I need to shave.
No. Pond Nation says.
See now you guys
are guessing.
Now I know y'all don't watch my videos. I'm calling you out.
Maurice says none.
None of them got it right so far. Buckeye Catfishing got it.
2.
Yep.
All right, Buckeye.
Buckeye, so in order to win, in order to redeem your shirt, you need to go to the Palmetto Cats Facebook page and you need to send me a message with the shirt size and your address, and I'll send it to you as soon as possible.
KB says 3.
Yeah. None of these guys are watching my videos. Y'all just made me feel terrible. Hope you're happy.
Chunky Cats is laughing. He's joking with you.
Yeah.
He's just yanking your chain. KB says, I thought you got 3.
I got 3 on the video before that. To the video that came out today. Today, as Keith would say. Today. Who said red? John Becker, what are you talking about?
Red what?
Red. Blue. We'll do another one. Let's do another one in 10 minutes. I'll think of another question. You got TV on in the background?
I got to turn the volume down on something. I'm recording something for a friend of mine on my iPad.
Oh, nice. Let's see. I think I got something else I can give away. Wait, let me check. Might be under this light here. Oh yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that, Maurice. I hope things are better for you.
What happened?
He lost someone in his family the last couple of days.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My condolences, buddy.
Let's see. You on the lake today, so you couldn't watch. I need to do some major vid time. I watched 3 times, but I wanted Elstan to win. Good answer, Michael. Good answer. So look, I got one of these.
I love them stickers.
It's a sticker.
I got one on the back window of my truck.
So, let's see. Gonna be about my channel.
Of course.
What's the title of my most watched video?
Oh.
What's the title of my most watched video? This is probably going to require people to go to my channel, which is why I asked.
Oh, it's going to make people go to your channel. Ferris just says, "Send me one. I'll support it."
Ooh. What's the title of my most watched video? You should have some Jeopardy music.
I should. Hey, Dave Booth, welcome. Hey, Dave, go over the Palmetto Cats on YouTube and check him out.
That's cool, Maurice. Hey, Dave.
That's awesome.
So the fishing buddy, I'm assuming.
Who said that?
Maurice said his friend isn't suffering anymore, but he put a rod and reel combo with him. That's pretty cool. It's not Trophy Catfish with Mike. Nope. Yeah, Lyle, while they're there, they can subscribe. I think, yep, Buckeye Catfishing won again. He
First
won.
night trip. You're on the roll.
First night trip. Okay. And listen, I'm going to tell you a funny story about why that video is my most watched. My most watch is, oh, I didn't know. Is your father passed away, Maurice? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, buddy. My condolences on your loss.
Man.
Pond Predator says Catfish Weekly 306.
Nope, that's not my video.
These people will make you cough. I laugh.
No, it's first night trip. Right now I have 393 views on it, which is a lot for me.
Oh, it says fast fingers.
So,
fingers.
Yeah. And so I'm going to tell you why that video is so popular. And it's not because it's a fishing video. So I was just looking on the analytics for the videos on YouTube, and you can look on there and you can see like what people search for to see your video. And so I guess it has something to do with like Hindu culture or something about a marriage ceremony. And I guess people were looking up like first night with their brides, like after they're married, like what to do,
right?
You know, after you're married, like how do we go about, you know, consummating this marriage? So it's kind of, are you picking up what I'm putting down?
Right, and I guess that shouldn't be something hard to figure out.
Yeah, so I was wondering, because it's not that great of a video. I mean, any video, all of the videos with my wife in it are my biggest ones. But I was like, why is this video doing better than the others? And so the analytics, and people were first night wedding, first night with wife, first night with after marriage, and I was like, oh man, people are trying to watch how to do the nasty, and
they didn't come up with the first night of catfishing.
Yeah, And mine and the videos actually, how disappointed are they though, right?
Hey, it's disappointing to
You're
them.
expecting,
You got a lot of views off of it.
yeah, man. So they're expecting to see a video about how to consummate a marriage, and then it's some fat dude talking about catfishing at night.
Hey, like you told me a while back, you gotta get creative with your titles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's what it takes, just getting creative with a title.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Maurice, do me a favor, buddy. Go over and send me a message or email me or text me. I want to send you something with your hat. But yeah, you can email me palmettocats@gmail.com, or you can just go to my Facebook page, or you can just comment on my video. But I don't think you want your address out there for everybody to see.
Well, if he sends it to
But
me in text, I can send it to you in Messenger.
that's fine. Messenger, whatever.
Yeah, Maurice, go ahead and send me your address, and I'll forward it to him.
Yeah. I thought. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
James says, I can see it now. A bunch of mad guys going at what the? Unfinished sentence. But we know what he's talking about.
So I had that discussion with the Trophy Cats with Mike. The guy in that one is our worship team leader, and he. I was telling him about his video is the second most watched one. And I told him he thought he was number one. I said, no, Anna's video is the first night. And he goes, what? Why is it so much higher? Because it's like 100 views over. And hey, Tim. And I said, well, according to the analytics, people are looking, how to consummate a marriage. And so now every time he sees me, he goes, first night fishing, brown chicken, brown. Gross, jaw jerker. No, that's disgusting. I ain't doing that.
John Jugger says there'd be slime line.
Slime time. He said the sequel to First Night. Yeah, that's gross. We're not doing that.
No,
KB, that's all right. You can keep those to yourself.
Yeah, we probably know what KB's thinking.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
What's your most funniest experience on YouTube?
On YouTube?
Yeah, doing YouTube videos.
I think, not really funny, but that Mike guy that I fished with, he was just so I did kind of like a segment where my guest would tell me like their most amazing fish story, and he was talking, and I asked him, what's the biggest fish you ever caught, and he was telling me about a dolphin, like a mahi, that kind of dolphin. And then, I was like, well, no, this is going to be here on the boat. And he said, yeah, wouldn't it be cool if the rod just went down in the middle of you interviewing me? And then it did. It went down, and it was like at least a 40-pound catfish. So that was pretty cool.
That's cool. What was your most embarrassing moment on YouTube videos?
I edited it out. But I can tell you what it was if you want to know. So, if you're a fella and you're out on the boat, it's common to relieve yourself over the side of the boat. Talking about number one, taking a tinkle. And, when you have a takedown camera, it's always running. And you don't think about it. You just don't think about it after a while. And so you just go, and then you don't realize that you got that on film. So one of the times I was relieving myself on the lake, and I got a takedown. So I had to juggle with my with myself about, do I want people to see the takedown, or do I want them to be able to guess what I was doing when the takedown was happening?
I'm sure
So,
they already knew what you were doing.
yeah, well, when I went back and looked at the footage, I was just enough out of frame that I could crop the video to where it still got the takedown and it didn't have me in it taking a leak on the back of the boat. So,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, that was kind of embarrassing. I really don't have too many bloopers. If unfortunately on that boat, if I have a blooper, I hurt myself. Like, when I was coming down so I have decks on my boat. So, you got the front deck and you got the back deck, and then it comes down in the middle to drive the boat. And so I was coming off the back deck and my foot caught the back of the seat and the seat slipped forward. And so my bait cooler's right there. So my leg got caught on the edge of a bait cooler, and then the seat was holding it. So I felt like I was going to break my leg in half.
Ouch.
And I had a huge, just a lump on my leg for about a month. And, if it was funny, I would put it up, but it's not. You can tell it hurt me bad. And
I'm sure it hurt you bad.
yeah.
Maybe he's going to call you the whiz kid.
That's fine. When I go out fishing with my dad tomorrow and I catch that 80-pounder, you can call me whatever you want. So we, in South Carolina, they've closed down all the public boat ramps.
Have they closed the campgrounds yet?
Campgrounds are closed, so we had to cancel our camping trip for spring break. Which, and keep in mind, everybody, I'm not complaining. I know it's all first world problems. Everyone's suffering in their own way. I'm not complaining. It's just minor inconveniences. So I don't want anybody to take offense. Like if somebody's sick or they know somebody that died, I'm not making my situation dire. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that disclaimer out there. But something that was disappointing to us is that, when the governor closed down all the boat ramps, and being that I work at a school and the school's closed, my natural instinct was to do what? To go fishing. And so, I was getting ready to go and he closed all the boat ramps. So we ended up finding a private one today. And so we talked to some people on the land right there. And they said, we could use it. So we're going to go fishing tomorrow. And hopefully I'll be able to go fishing several times here this week.
That'd be cool. What would be... Whoops, I didn't mean to hit that one. What would be your advice for beginner fishermen?
Do we have any beginner fishermen here?
There's one or two in here.
Okay. Keep it simple. Buy you a cheap rod and reel combo from Walmart and get you some stink bait. They got stink bait and Walmart. Well, at least down here they have stink bait, and get you a stink bait holder and just throw it out there with a Carolina rig on it and just wait. And I know that you can catch some channel cats at least, just to see if you like it. If you don't like it, then you haven't spent too much money on it. So just to see if you like catfishing at all, just get something cheap. It doesn't even have to be a big rod and reel combo because, channel cats don't get too big. You might get one that's close to 20 if you're lucky. But yeah, that's my advice. Oh, you're a beginner, Chucky Cats? Someone with a YouTube channel called Chucky Cats Fishing on YouTube. I don't know if you're a beginner.
I don't know about him being he inspires a lot of people, but he has fun on doing it too. So
let's give away another sticker.
All right, Buckeye, you can't win this one. It has to be someone else this time.
Oh, see, he's smart now. Palmetto Cats.
All right, it has to do with your channel.
I don't know. What's something that you know, Avid, about my channel? Putting you on the spot.
The video you put out where you had the boat almost sink you.
That's next week.
Oh, darn.
Yeah, the video that's coming out next Friday. Guy comes through with a mud motor and almost hits us. And then that causes a barge bite. So we ended up catching a fish off of it, but just obnoxious.
Okay, I got a question for him about you.
Okay.
What is Palmetto's PB Blue Cat?
Unofficial, because I didn't weigh it, but I was guessing.
Unofficial PB.
Unofficial.
Michael Morello says, Buckeye, tell us the answer.
Yeah.
He said it in his last live that was on my live stream.
I see a 23. I see a 44.
I see a 68.
You do? Oh, a 68.
Ozark said 68.
I see a 00.
I see a 24. I see a 48. I see an 87.23.
I haven't seen a right answer yet. It is a round number.
36.
Chunky Cat's got it.
50.
Yep. Congratulations, Chunky Cats. You get a Palmetto Cats decal. I'm sorry. I'm stupid.
No, you're not. Chunky, you already won.
Yeah, there's a lag, though. He probably typed that in 2 minutes ago.
I still got him running with him on my phone.
Yeah. That's the only bad thing about live streams is, when you ask a question, it also depends too, like you may not realize it, but you're watching something that already happened. You just got to scroll over.
Right.
Maurice, you don't have to worry about winning. I'm going to send you that hat. I'm going to send you a sticker. I'm going to send you something else. Because Maurice and PD Joe and KB were the first three guys that started following me, and they've been watched and commented on just about everything I've done. So, I've taken care of KB, I've taken care of Joe, and I've been trying to take care of Maurice. I just need to get that address.
With my work still going on since I'm doing security, since my job, they let go a lot of my people except for the security and a few others. I've been busy. And I've been trying to cover everybody I'm supporting on YouTube videos.
That's good that you're working, man.
Oh, it is. I'm glad about that, but I'm trying.
Yeah, and I was joking with somebody the other day. I said this COVID-19 thing is like one of the people talk about oh man, you're in education, you don't get paid that much, and you have to deal with all this. But hey, I'm thankful right now because we're still getting paid, and we're not working in the classical sense. Like we're not in the building and teaching kids and being around kids. We're working from home the best we can, but some people would be a lot of people. I think they said 6 million people have applied for unemployment. So I'm very thankful to God for putting me where I am.
Same here.
Mm-hmm.
Maurice, you're welcome. You're welcome, buddy.
I'm really, really upset that I can't meet Maurice and some of the other guys at Patriots YouTuber tournament. Oh, I was so upset that got canceled.
Well, KB
I did.
anytime there's a giveaway on my live feed, it's not a roll of numbers. It's going to be a quiz about either yours or someone else's channel or whoever the guest is. So it's going to make you think. It's fair and easy.
Well, and I'm not afraid to call you out too. If you say you watch somebody's channel and you can't answer a basic question, I'm just kidding.
I've been trying to make time to watch channels.
Well, see, the reason why I've seen so many of everybody in here is that we don't have cable. We got rid of cable about 7 years ago, just because it's so darn expensive. So we have an Apple TV box, and we get YouTube streamed to the TV, which is something I probably need to think about when I'm editing my videos. I edit them to watch on a TV screen instead of on a phone. And if you look at your analytics, like most people watch your stuff on a phone.
Yeah,
I'm probably one of the few people that watch YouTube on a 42-inch screen.
yeah. If we have any new people in here, feel free to check out the other channels out, share the love, and hit subscribe and the bell button.
You ever seen the Blue Man Group?
No, I haven't.
So they have a show in Vegas, and have you ever heard of the Blue Man Group?
I've heard of them, but I've never really researched.
So they have this Vegas show, and it's like kind of like a musical group, and they play like a percussion instruments, and they paint their heads blue, and they have like black, just like black clothes on. Anyway, they do this segment of their show where they put TVs on their head, and they're like banging their head up against the side of the TV to the beat. So I kind of feel like I'm on the Blue Man Group right now.
Yeah, the little box, it's just bing, 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 bing.
I play around.
Me to mirror the YouTube on my TV. Tim Molina.
Yep. But a lot of TVs now, if you bought your TV within the past like 5 years, you probably have a smart TV, and they have the app on there already. I don't. I have one from about 8 years ago.
I got satellite, and we got the YouTube channel on satellite, so I can watch it off there. Watch YouTube channel and everybody's stuff there. But when I'm not working, I'm getting the house clean and getting things ready to go to thrift stores and stuff like that. I've been on a cleaning spree.
Charlie Hubbard. I didn't see you come in. Hello, how are you?
Doing?
That's a new name to me.
He's been coming in he's been loyal. He's been loyal, just like everybody in here.
James Dockery was just on Patriot, wasn't he?
Yeah.
On Wednesday? I missed it, man. I don't know what I was doing. I was home, and I usually I know what I was doing. So I do small groups on Wednesday night, and we were meeting virtually, and so that kind of threw me off. We were meeting through the Zoom app. I missed the daggum show, man. I like James' stuff. James catches a lot.
He was sharing some funny stuff on there.
I'm gonna go back and watch it, but I wanted to catch it live because
on a Friday night doing some of the similar stories, but That'd be fun.
Yeah.
He
I like James and stuff. James is really active on Facebook. And, he catches a lot of the same stuff that I like. He catches a lot of shell cracker and big brim and stuff. And I was really looking forward to that when I heard he was going to be on there. And I was done like before the show was over, but I didn't think about it. I guess I missed the notification. Anyway, I'll go back and watch it. But I wanted to be in chat and ask him questions.
Oh, there is no question. That's all story time.
Pop watches everything for you. Where is Pop? Why isn't he in here?
Yeah, where's Pops, KB?
Come on now.
I'm surprised Kentucky Catman ain't in here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Do you remember the story about the bull, him and the bull Chunky for Wednesday night? That one was so.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go back and watch.
I will. I hadn't watched it yet.
He tells the story him going fishing on a pond where a bull was. That's so freaking hilarious. Your ribs will be hurting with half of those stories. He's a character. I like that, but man, I never thought a guy would have so much problems pond fishing for crappie.
I have never fished for carp. I've caught one before while shell cracker fishing, but I've never
Tuesday nights.
targeted that.
Tuesday nights. Pop's asleep.
Charlie Hubbard said he just got home and found us on Dieter Melhorn. He digs his Palmetto Cat shirt. Yeah, he does. He says it's his lucky shirt. He caught some sharks in it and caught some. Every time he wears it, he catches good fish.
Chunky,
I wish mine was as lucky.
Chunky says he's drinking tequila.
I stopped drinking a few years ago.
I still drink, but I don't drink every day. That's the only vice I have left.
No, so I'll tell you a story. Since that came, my wife and I didn't never really drink a lot. We were just social, casually, whatever, like most people. And I became a deacon in my church, my old church. And one of the things, you had to make a deacon covenant, in that you didn't drink, you didn't smoke, you didn't use foul language, all that, all the Baptist stuff. Hey, outdoors addiction. So I didn't follow what I was supposed to do. And then the pastor came up and he was preaching. He says, if you can be a Christian at home, you can be a Christian anywhere. He said, if you can be a Christian at home, then you can be a Christian anywhere. And so that got me thinking, how many of us are different people when other people are watching? So went home and my wife had a talk, and we just decided that, we were going to cut all that out. And it had nothing to do with drinking. Like, Christians drink. I know plenty of Christians that drink, but I didn't feel like I was doing what I said I was going to do, because I had signed this covenant that said I wouldn't, which is what I meant. So it's not that I don't think drinking is a sin. Don't get me wrong.
No,
but I don't think that at all. But I told myself, I said, I'm telling people one thing in public, and then I'm doing a different thing when I got home. So we just quit, and it just kind of stuck. I'm not a deacon anymore. We switched churches, so we don't have deacons in our church. But we just kept with it. Doesn't bother me to be around people that drink. Then, my dad loves Bud Light.
Me, I prefer my Modelo's though, but
yeah, he'll probably have some out on the boat tomorrow.
And if I had a third person pop in real quick.
All right, go for it.
All right, James, I'm going to send the link to you,
Yeah, cool.
Mr. Dockery.
I think you sent it in chat.
Yeah, I sent it in chat for him.
Oh, okay.
Be easier for him to click on it. That's
Well,
just
can't anybody. Yeah, I was about to say. Hey, what's happening?
Hey, Kevin, how's it going tonight, bud?
Good, man.
So, I really do hope you guys enjoyed that the other night. James Smith he is one heck of a guy. And we got talking about, just having a fun show, nothing going on in the world, no politics, no nothing. And we just, I thought it was a good idea. He thought it was a good idea. And we both had a blast.
Hey, that was a good, awesome show you put on.
Yeah, it's cool. So
I loved it, especially that bull story.
Listen, I've got 2-3 bulls here on my property, and they're not as big as what that bull was. It was a big bull. I'm telling you. So
if you don't mind, can you retell that for Palmetto Cats who wasn't there?
So years ago, there was this pond, all right, and everybody and their brother wanted to fish this pond, and so it was all no trespassing signs all the way up around it. No one could ever get onto this property. And every time you drive by it, your car wants to kind of swerve over toward, the pond, wanting to go there. So it had sold, it changed hands. And this elderly lady, she was letting people fish it. And this was, I'm going to say probably about a 5-acre pond. So, it's a small lake. And rumor had it had, a bunch of crappie in there, all decent sized ones. So we decided, I took my chance and went out there and jumped over a fence. Needless to say, I met the electric fence long before I ever met the bull. And it was painful. So I get all the way down there, and I never did see. When I had asked that lady if I could fish that pond, she said something. She said yeah, and I went running back to my car. I went back. I'm grabbing my gear and I'm heading out. She said something, and I could not. I kind of was like, all right, I'm going. So got over the fence. Finally, got myself picked back up. Get all the way down to the pond, and I'm fishing. And all of a sudden, across the pond, that bull. He's just staring at me, and I thought, oh, well, he's over there. I'm over here. As long as I, can match him step for step around this pond, I'm going to fish. So I'm fishing and I'm catching crappie left and right. We're talking 10, 12-inch crappie, some a little bit bigger, some a little smaller. So I'm throwing the small ones back, and I'm having a good old time, and I lost track of that bull. And I threw out, just, casted way back out there again, and out of the corner of my eye, I seen something moving, and it was that bull. He had made it all the way around that pond without me noticing. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to, venture around the pond a little bit more. And I had to cross this ditch. Should not have crossed the ditch. I fell into the ditch. Actually, I jumped into the ditch. Nastiest smelling mud, the whole 9 yards. So I finally get back up and around and get my shoes out because they they're down in the mud, deep. And so I go back around the pond and I'm still fishing. Well, I noticed this bull is kind of stopped. And he's just standing there, and I thought, okay, he's going to charge me here pretty quick. This is it. This is how I die. My life is, is over as we know. And I had about, I'd caught 30 crappie, and I thought, all right, that's it for me today. I'm going to try to get out of here. So I start following that creek line up. Well, it just keeps getting wider and wider and wider and muddier and muddier and muddier. So I finally just like, all right, heck with it. I'm going over this pond or this creek. So I jump back over this creek. I attempt to jump back over this creek again, didn't make it. I get back all the way up about toward the middle of that hill, and I notice that bull is staying even with me. He's not coming over to where I am, but he's matching me step for step. And I thought, surely he's going to get to the top of this hill where it's flat, and then he's going to come over and get me, and that's going to be it. And I got to the top. I'm winded, still packing all my stuff. I look back, and that bull's still standing in one spot. I couldn't figure out why, and I got to looking. And right there where the bull was, there's this little tree line. And I got to looking really close to that tree line, and there were trees that were just, I mean, standing straight up, perfect. And they were all the same height. There was a fence that was stopping him from coming over and getting me. And that electric fence that I tripped over, getting down to the lake, that was what was stopping him. And I got back up there. I'm covered in mud. And that lady, she's just laughing and laughing and laughing. So I'm loading my stuff up, and I'm telling her, I appreciate you letting me fish and all that stuff. And about that time, that bull comes up into that barnyard and comes into the barn. And she walks over and opens that top door in that barn, and that bull sticks his head out. She reaches up there and starts petting on him, just scratching him, loving on him. And I'm like, ma'am, I was like, what exactly did you say about that bull when I left up here? And she's like, oh, don't mind that bull. He won't hurt you unless he's trying to climb in your back pocket. They had bottle fed that bull his entire life, and he was a pet. He wasn't. Yeah, and, I was mad. I was fit to be died.
Yeah.
So
you just reminded me of. Oh, go ahead.
I was busting a gut on that one Wednesday night.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
So my uncle Danny and my uncle Nick, in Colorado. We were in Colorado, and we would drive out there to visit my grandmother, and they would take me to catch trout out this little creek. And they're my uncles, and they're like 15, 20 years older than me, and they want to show me a good time, and they know that I fish a lot in South Carolina. My dad, and we catch fish all the time, so they're going to show me how they catch fish. I'm 12 years old, and so we're in this little creek, and I'm catching like little tiny brown trout, like hand length or whatever, and we're using salmon eggs to catch them. I don't know if anybody knows what that is, but they're little red eggs anyway. So we're in this little creek, and then my Uncle Danny, we're not catching any fish. He goes, hey, come on over here, just leave your stuff right there. And we go past this little fence. I'm not thinking anything about it, and there's this like L-shaped bend in the little creek, and it's like rapid water almost, and you can't see it. It's all white water, and we were hand lining. So you throw the hand line in one side of the rapid, it'd come around, and you pull it, you'd have a trout on there. So we were doing that for a while, and I guess I looked like I wasn't having fun. He goes, hey, you want to catch a big one? I said, yeah, I always want to catch a big one. He said, follow me. So we come up over this hill. He pulls up this chain link fence, and we come up over the hill, and there's like 100 ponds. It was a hatchery. We had broken into a hatchery.
Oh,
and we go over there, and we throw in. He said, now, Kevin, you're only going to get one cast, so make it a good one. So I cast my line in there, and I caught like a 13-inch rainbow trout. We pulled it out, and just about that time, this truck it's like the Border Patrol coming for us. And he said, run! So we started running. I'm crying, thinking I'm going to jail. And I got a fish just like flinging behind me on the rod, slapping me in the back, and kept slapping. So needless to say, my Uncle Danny always found, and he'd probably kill me telling this story, but this is the same guy who would drive us down. We jumped off train trestles and into the river, and we're just having a good time. We come back up there, come to find out Danny didn't have a license. We had to walk home. So, we'd always get into stuff like that where he'd take us out shrimping, and like the prop would fall off the motor, or just like the most unorganized backwoods fishing you could ever imagine. So that kind of, yeah.
I've got a couple of friends that I guarantee every time we go out, especially one friend, his name was Edward Murphy, and he goes by Eddie Murphy, but he's like 5 foot tall, and he's short, round, and white, and he's really not that fun. He's really not, and I'm kind of hoping he's going to listen to this, and and I'll get a phone call like that. But I have rowed boats out of places that we have never should have been in. We get back up in there and the boat will break down or something like that. But those are the stories that make us who we are, and I love listening to other people's adventures, and, you were saying that I'm, pretty active on Facebook. I don't do a lot of the Twitter stuff because, it's not, I wouldn't say rated for kids. 90% of the posts on there I've seen, I wouldn't want my kids seeing. So,
Right.
I'm not, and
No,
even
what I meant was like it's easy to find your stuff because you post a lot of videos and you go live on Facebook and Facebook is a little bit better at YouTube at notifying you because they put it in your feed. Instead of YouTube where you'll have to get a notification, then you have to go find it in YouTube. With Facebook, you can just I guess it's just the culture we're in where we naturally check Facebook if you're me, I run several Facebook pages for my school district, my business, Palmetto Cats, so I'm always on Facebook for whatever reason. So, whenever I see yours pop up, I'm like, hey, he's fishing again. Lucky devil.
I've been trying to go live. The problem is my phone did an update and Facebook does not like it.
No.
And the video
Facebook's doing a lot of changes.
Yeah, the quality of the video just glitches out, and it annoys me so much because I want to go live and show you guys where I'm fishing, what I'm doing, especially nowadays. I took a young man fishing last weekend, and we hit 6 different ponds.
Hello, Katie.
And they all said hello. She's right there. And he had an absolute blast. But the reason why I took him fishing was because I had taken him once before, and I ended up using him, or not using him, but I wanted to teach him exactly what I was using, where I was going, what I was doing, what I was looking for, that kind of stuff. And so he caught one more fish than I did that day. And so since that time, and then last week, about once a day, I'd get a message of him trash talking about how he's going to beat me next time we go out fishing.
Funny how that happens.
Oh yeah, and
and so I think there's a person in here, KB Angler. Oh,
A&B. Well, I don't know. I've got a lot of people that kind of give me grief in here. Lyle. Which I'm surprised because it's actually past Lyle's bedtime. You know how them older gentlemen are.
Well, no, it's an hour behind. No, he's in our time zone, isn't he?
Yeah, no, he's in our time zone. It's 9 o'clock there, so he should probably be in his pajamas and Cindy handing him a nice cup of warm milk or something like that. But and I give him a lot of hard times. I really do. But I have learned so much from watching their show, Catfish Weekly, that it's not even funny. And I've met a lot of good people through there that have, they've given me information. I've watched some of your videos. I've watched Avid's videos. If I'm not fishing, I'm watching somebody else's videos. Like I said, I haven't been into catfishing, true catfishing, going after the big ones, for only about 3 years. And I think, come to think of it, 3 years we've either had major floods or winters that just won't quit and stuff like that here in the Midwest. So I really haven't had a chance to get out and actually use what I've learned on the river fishing from the bank. So it'll all work out one of these days and I'll be able to do it. So, but those guys, I learn a lot from just watching other people. And like Elstan, I love watching his videos. His live streams that he does when he's sitting there fishing. The only part that I don't like that he does is when he shows that panoramic view of the city. It just gets my heart racing because it's just like there are just way too
many people. I love the river and everywhere where he fishes. But boy, seeing that city, it was like, whoa.
Yeah, no. See, I live on about 380 acres out here in the middle of nowhere. So
Nice.
yeah, I don't, you know, going into big cities, if I go to a school to do a seminar or show them something, you know, how to catch crappie, bass, bluegill, channel cat out of, you know, a pond or something like that, you know, I have no problem with that. But thinking about going into a big city is like, no, I grew up in a big city. I did my time. I'm out here now. It's nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Things are getting busier here in Charleston. I'm close to Charleston, South Carolina, but even the town I live in, it's called Monk's Corner. It's growing up. It's growing up huge, and you know, we're in this kind of like flux state right now with the house we're in with the foundation and all that. So we're kind of in that holding zone, but that's like our dream is to live on some acreage, you know. Because right now, and you know, it's all excuses, and it's first world problems, and I'm not acting like my scenario is the end of the world because I'm very blessed. You know, God has taken care of us. However, when it comes to YouTube videos, you know, my situation makes it real tough. We don't have any like bank access around us, like too much bank access. So, you know, if I'm going out and I want to catch fish, I really have to have a boat. And we live in one of those HOA neighborhoods. Never thought I would do it. But again, it's just how God lines up things in your life. You know, he put it there at the right time when we needed to have it. And that's just our situation. So, you know, I have to put my boat in a storage lot every time I'm done with it. Now it's sitting in the driveway right now. I'm breaking the rules because me and Dad are going out in the morning. But if I get a ticket, I get a ticket.
There you go. Say, I was actually planned on going this morning and got up and looked at the radar, and we had snow coming. And oh yeah, you know, and we'll have a chance of snow here in Missouri up till about April the 15th or so. But most of the towns around us have gone on some sort of a stay-at-home order and stuff like that. And I've got 9 ponds here on the property to choose from.
Wow.
I can fish for crappie, cool, bass, bullhead. I've got one pond that's got nothing but bullheads in it. I've got one pond that has nothing but green sunfish in it. And the rest have crappie, catfish, and bass. So
man, that sounds like a dream, man.
Well, my backyard is literally 40 acres, and that's just cool, my backyard. So
you said you have a pond that's just bluegills?
Yes, yeah.
How big?
Green sunfish. Most of them are probably about 3 to 4 inches long.
3 or 4 inches?
Yeah.
That's
Katie calls them giblets.
Yeah. That's a decent.
Well, we've got one that's got nothing but hybrids in it. Also, hybrid bluegill.
Yeah.
And the neighbor across the street from us, he's got 3 or 4 ponds that we're able to fish. His son has 3 or 4 different ponds that we're able to fish. Katie's uncle lives up the road from us, and I think he's got 30 or 40 different ponds that we can fish. Anytime that there's a washout in a field or something, these folks around here just put a pond up. You know, it helps with erosion control and stuff like that. And next thing you know, it's filled with fish, and I'm begging and pleading to get in there and fish.
Maurice said he's on the way, James. Maurice said he's on the way, James.
I actually have my mom moved up here, which I love my mom to death. Don't get me wrong, and she's sitting right there.
A 40-acre
yeah, and so what's that?
I like what Tim said.
Yeah, pretty much. We actually built a small RV park because she has a camper that she lives in during the summer months. So we have a 2-slot little camper spot, and I just keep thinking I'm going to put her in a home and I'm going to start renting that out, and I'm going to make money off. But then she throws things at me, so I can't do that. So
Now, are your bulls bottle fed?
What's that?
Are your bulls bottle fed? Bottle fed?
No, not
Your
even
bulls?
close. Nope. No.
So
No,
they're
these
not
guys
nice
they
with-
graze. No, they'd much rather stomp you than they would anything. You know, they just want to be left clear to the fence and eat out of the back. You know, they'll eat out the palm of your hand, but the other ones are kind of leery of you. So,
Oh,
but there's only I think there's 40 or 50 head of cattle out there, and it's calving season right now. So, wake up tomorrow with 60.
yeah.
Yeah, we've had a couple of cool days here, but it's been in the 80s here last week.
What was that, James?
Yeah, we're supposed to get up in the 80s next week, but we don't know. You know, I mean, the weather around here changes daily. So,
Right.
but Kevin, you were talking about, yeah, Kevin, you were talking about using how a hook that's exposed that you don't catch any fish on, and all I'm using is a 1/32 ounce jig and a 1-inch tube jig. I get all my 1-inch tube jigs from Arky. And what I'm doing is I'm suspending that under a weighted bobber. And the way I'm setting them up, hang on one second. Probably one of my rods there. Hang on one second, guys, and I'll show you exactly how I'm using these. The setup. Yeah, that's my B&M there.
Get your rods nice and handy.
I actually have the bobber, fishing bobber, in my pocket. I get in so much trouble with that. When she goes and does laundry, she's pulling out hooks, she's pulling out sinkers, bobbers, all this other stuff. All right. This is what, let me make sure I get the camera angle here. This is what I normally use. All right. Like I said, it's just a one.
Yeah, tube jig.
Yep. Right, tube jig. But, and then the bobber that I'm using are these weighted 1 ounce or weighted 1 inch. They call them 1 inch, but they're more like 1.5 inches. Weighted bobbers, cigar bobbers. All right. Now, when you're using these, you know, you set them up and they're floating around the water like this. I actually put them upside down, and I'll show you why. If I don't hook myself, which I already did once. All right, when this is in the water like this, all right, this pretty much over here is the same weight as a 1/32 ounce.
Right.
All right. Now, when that's sitting on the water, it's sitting there moving like this with those waves. Okay, so it's giving this little jig all that little bit of an extra, little bit of extra movement and stuff like that. And for those of you that do a lot of crappie fishing, a crappie will come up and grab that bait and lift it up. And if you are fishing it this way, well, you're not going to see that crappie lift that bait for that jig up. But if you're doing it this way and he comes up, well, that's going to stand that bobber up. And if he pulls it down, you're going to be able to see that too. And that right there, I hooked that up by mistake one time, and it just seemed to work better. It takes a little bit of practice to get used to, watching that bobber and making sure that, because it'll do weird things depending on what you're fishing for. If you're fishing for trout, crappie, bluegill, bass, I mean, whatever. That's the go around set or all around setup for me is using that.
Right. It's the same concept as the rock bobber, if you know what that is.
Yeah. Yep.
So the rock says center weight inside the bobber with a line going off the end, and you'd have a jig on it, and they're going to the bobber is still going to be flat. But as soon as that bobber barely twitches, it's over.
You know it.
You got it.
Yep.
So I guess I'm a traditionalist. You're probably gonna gawk at me, but I've never caught a bluegill or any kind of panfish on a jig. I've only used live bait.
I've caught them on left and right.
I've never tried either. So
My
but
bird,
like whenever I'm catching bait, I just use red worms and a number 2, just a little eagle claw gold hook, and I got a little pencil float, little bobber, not unweighted, and it's got a peg in it, and then just a
right.
3/4 ounce, or not that heavy, but just a little split shot weight, and I just drop it down, just traditional.
Yeah,
that's what we did.
Right. If I'm fishing for like my green sunfish, like that, to take me over, or to take over the big river and fish there, I'll use that same setup in a small piece of worm on there or something like that. But if I'm going after those little bit bigger bluegill dinner table or crappie or a trout or something like that, I'll go with those jigs, and it's just a personal choice. It's not. I mean, I really don't think one thing is better than the other.
So what we do is, I get it. I get what you're saying. So when around this time of year, the shell crackers start bedding in. Are you familiar with what a shell cracker, red-eared sunfish? So they'll bed,
yes.
and so what we do is we throw it out, and we put it so that the bobber's a little bit too deep, and the males, they pick up the worm off the bottom and they drag it off the bed, and so you'll see your peg float sits flat, and it'll just jerk off to the side, and that when it's going, that's when you hook them. And so we use big red worms, and the females are a little bit off the bed, they're a little bit deeper, and they'll swallow that worm right up. I use the little tiny bits of worm, like you said, when I'm trying to catch bait, the little bluegill, the little brim. I just haven't, I've seen people do it. And I made my homemade sabiki rig, and I've been wanting to try that on some bluegill, some bait, but I just haven't had a chance. Basically, it's just a 1-inch gulp middle on a 1/64 ounce jig head, like you said.
The reason why I fish with the way I do is mainly just for the challenge, to see if I can actually outsmart the fish, or whatever the case may be. But there are times when it's just I'm grabbing night crawlers out of the refrigerator and I'm out the door. I'm not messing around with jigs or tubes or anything like that. I actually want a big enough haul back to the house that I a good decent dip. So but this year my luck as far as catfishing, I think my biggest catfish this year is less than a pound. That's how bad it is.
Less than what?
Less than a pound.
Oh, less than a pound. Yeah. My wife,
I cannot.
On the video that's coming out on Friday, she caught a 24-pounder, and it caught us off guard. It's just screaming drag out. So hopefully I'll hook up on a few of them tomorrow. But speaking of that, guys, it's 10 o'clock here. I'm wasting away.
All right.
And
question.
my dad likes to wake up at the break of dawn and go fishing. So that's what we're going to do.
All right. You have a good night.
All right, y'all. Take care, James. Good to see you. Good to talk to you.
You too, Kevin.
All right. John, later, everybody.
On that bait caster that you have that's loose on your reel, take it apart on those 2 tabs at the bottom of the reel. Wrap those tabs with some electrical tape on both ends and put it back together and tighten it down. It'll help you tighten it back up. He's having a little bit of a problem with one of his bait caster reels loose on his rod. When he tightens it down, it's still sitting there a little loose.
Oh, yeah.
So tell him wrap the seats of the reel with electrical tape. And that will help tighten it back.
Plumber's tape works also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had asked that questions earlier, so I was talking to him in chat. So, have you ever landed a blue cat or a flathead yet?
Oh yeah. My biggest flathead is probably 12 pounds. My biggest blue cat is probably about the same. My biggest channel cat is just under 16 pounds.
16.
So, yes, sir.
My biggest channel cat's 22.
Yeah. Well, like I said, what I normally used to do was bass fish. I mean, straight up. I didn't mess with any other fish. I just bass fished. Well, then that got boring for me, so I switched over to crappie fishing. And crappie led to bluegill. And then one night I was sitting there at the house, and I stumbled across Catfish Weekly on YouTube being live.
Right.
And started watching it. And of course, I think he was talking about Luke Hinges that night and some of the other ones, and it all went downhill from there for Katie. I jumped into catfishing because I thought, well, this is what I want to do. And that's exactly what I started doing. I started mainly catfishing, and I'll still do, crappie fishing. I'll, still do some trout fishing. I really don't go after bass hardly at all. So, because and you really don't want to say you target bass around a whole bunch of catfishermen because,
Well, see, with my channel, you can say any kind of fisherman because I do all kinds of fishing, from bluegills to crappies to trout, catfishing, and bass. But I don't target bass.
No, and I haven't targeted bass in a long time. One of the young men that goes fishing with me quite a bit, he wants to bass fish and stuff like that. So, I have him bring his bass equipment out, and we'll go out and I'll show him different techniques and stuff like that for him to try. And it's paying off for him. He's whooping all of his brothers and all this other stuff during fishing. So that's what it's all about right there.
Yeah. What's your biggest crappie?
Biggest crappie is 3 pounds, almost 4 pounds. It's right at the 3 pounds, 12 ounce mark.
Is that one of the ponds or what?
Yeah, that was out here at one of the ponds.
Damn.
Yeah.
What are you feeding them?
Flathead minnows. Listen, I manage my ponds like you wouldn't believe. I mean, I'm pulling so many fish out per year. I'm building structure for them to sleep, to bed in and hide in and all this stuff. And we're putting creek chubs, we're putting minnows, all this stuff in the pond every year. And, just to feed them and all this stuff. I'm not going for a state record out of this pond or anything like that. All I was going for is the pond management. I don't want it to be overstocked with bass. I don't want it to be overstocked with bluegill or crappie. I want a good even balance. So, yeah, he come up out of the pond probably about 10 years. And
Well, that was 10 years ago. Could you imagine how much bigger you got him now?
But the thing about it, that not really. I mean, most people don't understand. Crappie really don't live that long.
I know. But
the average crappie only lives 3 to 5 years.
Right, but the growth rate on crappie is a fast growth rate.
Depends on what lake you're at, their food source, that kind of.
With good vegetation, good food, and all that. If you have everything right.
Oh yeah,
you can produce some 5+ pounds crappie out of there.
Oh, easy. And I might have a couple of ones that would go state record down here, but I mean, your chances of actually catching one are slim. I mean, this is a pretty decent sized pond that I'm fishing in, that I've got them in and stuff like that.
If you use the bait that you feed them on a hook.
No, I don't use live bait when I'm down there.
Oh, okay.
No, it's a challenge aspect for me. I mean, if I'm down there, I'm using jigs, I'm using, some sort of a lure or something like that. I want to give them a fighting chance as much as, they give me a fight. So, but we've got bluegill in some of these ponds that, they'll go 2 pounds easy.
You feeding them minnows too, or what?
Yep. Oh yeah, all the ponds get minnows. Put them in every year. They all have structure in them, stuff like that, except for the bullhead and the green sunfish. Those two are just strictly bait. The bullhead is for one. Bullhead and greenfish or green sunfish is when I go over to the river. I can go down over to the pond and I can catch me, a dozen bullhead and a couple of dozen little green sunfish, and I've got all my bait I need right there.
That's the only thing I haven't tried yet is bullhead for baits, because there's nowhere around down here where I'm at to really find them. Because a lot of people that fish for them, anything from that big, or say from that big to that big, they keep.
Yep.
I mean, they throw it in a bucket, they take it home, they skin it, and they leave the head on it and everything, and cook it up like a potato chip and eat it.
Ugh. No.
I mean, and I'm trying to catch some kind of bullheads to try for catfish bait, and I can't even find any.
Most of the time, the reason where we got these is just some of the creeks around here. We take a country road and go down a country road. Well, you come across the big creek that's got, enough water in it and toss down in there. You'd be amazed at, what all is down inside some of those creeks. I've seen 5 to 10 pound fish pulled out of these creeks.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Some of these creeks, are pretty big, and, so like I said, pick a gravel road in your area and drive down it. You'd be amazed at what you can find. And you might even come across somebody that's got a pond right off the road that they may let you fish it. And, just make sure you always shut the gates and don't leave any trash.
I always pick up trash that I see everywhere I go. My truck in this town where I'm at is really noticeable. I have a PVC rod holder that I built for the back of my truck.
Yeah.
That it's built for transportation, so all the rods fit in it, and they're up at a 45-degree angle.
Wow.
Yeah, but they're only maybe 8-9 feet up off the ground, so anybody pulls up behind me, it ain't going to hit their vehicle.
Yep.
So I built that for the sole purpose of keeping my rods untangled when I'm driving. So when I get there, I don't have to untangle them, just pull them out, pull out a rod holder, stab it in the ground, cast out, and put the rod in it.
Yeah. Well, most of mine are 2-piece. I just throw them in the back of the truck when I get to wherever I'm going. I'll pull them out and stuff like that. But
I just got tired of the point of having my stuff sliding across the bed of the truck and having to re-grease it and re-oil it every 2 months.
Yeah.
So
that is true.
But now I'm going to rebuild it again.
Yeah. But no, I mean, if you guys go to my Facebook page, it's my personal Facebook page. I don't have an extra, fishing with James Ducker or whatever. It's just my personal page. Last week I was catching 12-inch crappie left and right.
Damn.
Out of my pond. Yeah.
How big was the crappie that you're pulling out of that old lady's pond with the bowl?
They were about 10 to 12 inches. Most of your farm ponds around here that have crappie in them, it's fairly decent. I mean, fishing for crappie up in here in northern Missouri. We're usually about a 2 week behind Lake of the Ozarks and stuff like that as far as when our crappie runs start. And we are so overlooked as crappie goes. It's not even. We've got so many city lakes and stuff like that up here that have, massive crappie schools, and not a lot of people go for them.
Where do they target up there?
Most of the time it's bass or catfish. Yep.
Damn.
Lake Show Me is over by Memphis in northern Missouri or northeast Missouri. And it's got a campground. It's a big lake. It's got it had pike in it at one point in time, and I don't know if the conservation department ever kept up with them. But the bluegill and crappie that are in that lake there's some state records in there for sure.
That's good, Chad. All of us bank fishermen, if we see trash that other people's left, pick it up, keep it clean, because if property owners see you and do that, you will get access to the property. But
Yeah.
don't never leave trash on the ground, because one time can ruin it.
And don't forget your manners.
Yeah, always be polite. Always try to ask them if they need help around there. Fixing the gate, feeding cattle, whatever. Just don't take it for granted that they're going to give you permission just to fish there. Take a day off and see if they need help mowing or whatever. Mending a fence. That's just manners and showing some respect. That's the way it is in Montana, and I'm sure that'd be the way it is down here or anywhere else.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree, James?
Oh yeah, yeah. Most of the time, I mean, and don't get me wrong, you're going to run across some landowners that no matter what, their land is for family use only. I have no problem with that. Then you're going to have some that they really don't care if you fish on there or not. So
yeah, it's the ones that will let you that you want to try to at least extend the gratitude out.
Yeah.
To keep the welcome mat open. But don't go blurting out a word of mouth to a bunch of people that's going to trash the property. Because if you do that, then it's going to be ruined for everybody. They'll shut it down.
Yeah. So, but now for the most part, I spend probably 5 to 7 days a week fishing, whether it's in one of my ponds, whether it's a river right below my house, some sort of a lake around here or something like that. And I had a whole bunch of classes. I do a lot of volunteer work for the conservation department here in Missouri. And we had a whole bunch of classes planned out for kids this year, and they all got canceled. So I've got a thing up on my Facebook page now where I'm going to give one lucky kid a ton of fishing gear. And you just got to go and post a picture of the kid fishing, and that's it. You don't have to like it. You don't have to share it. And Monday night, I think after Catfish Weekly, I am going to have Katie, put all the names into a randomized website, and we're going to pick us a winner.
That's cool.
Yep.
I've never thought about that, but I got a Facebook page I started for Bank Fishers of America, where it's bank fishers, because a lot of pages I've seen is for about boat fishing and all that. But I'm going to add you to that Bank Fishers of America because I think you'd like it.
Yeah. Well, don't get me wrong. I've got a boat that I can fish out of.
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying to get us bank fishermen, even pond fishermen, whatever, united.
Yep.
Somewhere where we can hang out, chat, post pictures, and post catfishing topics in there.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Well, everybody has to learn at some point.
Even if you have tips or tricks for catching catfish, crappie, bluegill, or whatever, you post it up in there.
Okay.
Because I still got some websites of bait and tackle and rig crappie jigs and stuff. I'm going to post up in there and tag for the top of the page as well. So if anybody has anything they want to look for, they can look for it online. Look through their crappie jigs and catfish terminal tackles and Ozark fishing and whatever. They can go through those links on that page and see what they're looking for, what they want to order, stuff like that. Like lightning bugs. Lightning Bug has 2 websites now. I'm going to post both of them up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be supporting a lot of the bank fishermen of that Bank Fishers of America.
There you go.
All in there, it's going to be a private page, but I'm going to have moderators and stuff and people. So if you have someone that's a bank fisherman, suggest it, and we'll send them an invite and see if they'll accept it. Or you can have them submit an invite, and one of me, you, or someone else can accept them,
Accept them.
and that's
Yeah.
our moderator.
Well, like I said, and for the most part, and I said this the other night on Patriot James, my page is strictly fishing. I don't post political. I don't post controversial stuff. It's fishing, conservation, support for law enforcement, that kind of stuff. I very seldom do I ever post anything negative, and if I do post something negative, it's usually because it has set me off like you wouldn't believe. And the last time that happened, it actually benefited everybody when I did go off. We were fishing at a local pond, and my youngest daughter found a used dirty needle.
Oh,
and
that would piss me off.
It did. It made me really upset. And that wasn't the first one we had found down there. And so I called out the Kirksville Police Department. Yeah. And I had one of the officers get a hold of me, and he was going to start sending, it was a sergeant for the Kirksville Police Department, and he was actually going to start sending his guys down there more often to patrol that area. And turns out that the conservation department after that post set up some undercover stuff, or not undercover, but surveillance at some of their local areas around this area to try to catch some of these guys. So if it's anything to keep these things safe, that's what we need to do.
Yeah, we do. Because Frank Holton, the lake down here where I fish for crappie, this lake is run by the state. It has a bass limit, a catfish limit, and a trout limit. It don't have no crappie limit. Don't have a catch size. It don't have a catch limit. Don't have a size limit. You can catch as many crappie as you want and take home.
Are they overpopulated?
That lake is, how can I put it, a breeding ground for crappie.
Okay.
I mean, they got baby shad from that big to 14 to 16 inches in that lake.
Yeah, well, what size crappie are in there, though? Are they decent size?
I pulled out an 18-inch crappie out of there last year.
Yeah, but the overall size of them, I mean, is it?
Overall size is pushing anywhere from 5 inches to 11 inches.
Okay. But we've got some around here that, your crappie most of your crappie are about 9 inches in length.
That lake, on a good day of fishing for crappie, you'll pull out 10 inches left and right.
Yeah.
8, 9, 10 inches easy.
Well, then if it's overpopulated that much, then they don't need, in my opinion, they wouldn't need a size or a limit restriction until it gets down to, where you're actually catching some decent sized crappie.
They've been studying that lake for the last 4 years that I've been fishing it. And they've seen me with a live well basket hanging in the water, and I've had 30 crappie in it that's pushing anywhere from 10 to 16 inches. And they've shot that lake three years in a row. And the crappie that just comes floating up, I mean, God, they're like maggots coming out of a carpet.
Yeah. Yeah, then I would definitely say it would be overpopulated. Now, is that lake over on the Illinois side?
Yes.
Okay.
It's maybe 10 minutes from my house from here.
See, now, over here in Missouri, most of the time, if it's a state lake or something like that, you either have a 30 limit or a 15 limit.
Well, this is a state-run lake.
Yeah, see, but I'm not for sure what on the regulations of Illinois. I've only fished over there a couple of times, and that was just from the bank of the Mississippi up by Canton and down by Hannibal and
right,
that kind of stuff.
But each lake in Illinois has their own set of regulations, the catch limits and all that. But if you look up Frank Holton in Illinois, it will tell you there's no limit for crappie. Catch as many as you want, take them home, clean them, and freeze them. But me, I'm the type of person, if I got 40 or 50 crappie in my basket, I'm going to give some away to someone that hasn't caught any that's wanting some.
Yeah. Well, so we normally stock up on fish quite a bit throughout the year, and that's what we get through winter with. You know, besides deer meat and whatever other game we've got around here. So, I mean, it's nothing for me to go down here to the pond or to a city lake and catch my limit. But, and Missouri's the same way. I mean, as far as every lake having their own different regulations and stuff like that, it's about what you can keep and catch. But kind of an overall rule is 50 fish a day, meaning you can have 30 crappie, 20 bluegill. They're considering quite a few of these fish here game fish, so we can't use bait and stuff like that. So bluegill we can use for bait, crappie, bass we cannot.
Now, the Mississippi, I get a kick out of that regulations for Illinois. I told this to a game warden one time before he picked up my stringer, 2 ropes. He says there's a 200-pound limit on fish out of Mississippi. And I had 4 stringers in the water.
What pools are you fishing in, though?
No, I'm fishing on the main river of the Mississippi.
Okay, right. I get that, but where Canton is pool 20. Above that is Keokuk, that's pool 19. And as you go down, the number gets higher. Do you know what number you're fishing, or what pool you're fishing in?
27.
27. I think it's from 26 to, I think up here to 20 is where Illinois and Missouri finally compromised on a little bit of a length limit, or not length limit, but limits as far as flathead, channel cat, and stuff like that. So
cat and blue cat and channel, I think 20 of them.
Yep.
Flatheads are unlimited because
no, flatheads are 10.
So flatheads and channels are 10. Blues they don't have a limit on. But like I was saying, he went to pull up the ropes. And I warned him, you better pull one up at a time because as soon as you see the size of them, my limit's done for the day.
Yeah.
Four
true.
53 pounds. Hey, and that's off a 14-inch sucker.
Yeah. Well.
14-inch red sucker fish. And all that, he was still alive, but I cut up both sides of the back, cut out the tail right before the belly, or right at the belly, and just took out the spine and let him go out there swim around with a flapper on.
Yep.
Boy, those flatheads come up and tore him up.
Yeah, do a butterfly cut on him.
Uh-huh. The flatheads and big blues, I come and tore them up. I didn't know how much blood was on them until I did it that way.
Oh yeah, they'll bleed quite a bit. So, all right, James. Hey, Abbott, I do this, bud. I got to get some meds in me, so I will talk to you guys later on. All right.
All right. You have a good night.
Yeah, you too, bud.
All right, guys. I'm gonna call that a night. Thank you for coming here and enjoying this. I will see you again next week on Thursday and Friday at 7 p.m. Next Thursday, I will have a nurse on here to answer your questions over the COVID-19. And Friday, I will have another guest on here live. So y'all have a good night, and I will see you later.